Hey guys, welcome back to Intent RC and the first video in our build series called Turning Wrenches. This is going to be a semi-regular segment of the show where we show you some of the actual steps in building some of our rigs rather than just showing off the rigs. The subject of today's video is this little beastie here that I'm building. I am right into like Mad Max post-apocalyptic type stuff, and this is going to be a tracked vehicle with a rotating gun turret on the roof and some cool crap like that going on. So as you can see, I've already got this project underway. You're going to be joining some of our builds already underway, and some of them are going to be from the start in this series, but you know, this one's already been started. Anyways, the subject of today's video is if you want to attach flat panels to cage bars. So if you've got a bomber cage or a wraith cage, or you know, just any kind of cage, and you want to attach flat panels to it and you're kind of wondering how you do that, glue probably isn't going to cut it, but this will work for you, and it's cheap. So this is going to cover attaching metal panels to a metal cage, plastic panels to a plastic cage, metal to plastic, plastic to metal. And it doesn't really matter. In this particular case, the panels are aluminum, the cage is steel, but that really doesn't matter because this method is going to work for the both of them. So first I'm going to throw in some action shots for your entertainment, and then we'll cut to the process. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I'm making the little body clips used to hold the sheet panels on the bomber cage. And what I'm using here is just some aluminum material that you get from Home Depot. This is for flashing, for roof and gutter work. And it's about perfect. It's lightweight, it's stiff enough, easy to work with. So I've just cut some strips here and kind of make them as uniform as possible, considering they're, you know, made by hand and I don't have any special fixtures or jigs. At the end of the day, I guess it doesn't matter that much because you're not going to be able to see them once installed. So I'm marking and drilling a mounting hole. I'm just going to take these corners off. I'm probably going to give these a quick swipe with the sander when I'm done, just to help kind of eliminate any rough edges, I guess. And get the strip trimmed to length, and grab these jewelry pliers I have that are used for forming loops in wire. In this particular case, loops in sheet metal, I suppose. I'm just going to curve that around to about 90 degrees with a 3/16 diameter, which is the same as the tubing. And there you have the completed clip. Alright, so the idea here, if I can manage it, is to get a bunch of holes drilled in this hood panel that I've made out of the same aluminum. Now, a different source, but it was actually the stuff they used to make eaves troughs with, which is about the same gauge. There was a truck down the street doing eaves troughs, and I flipped the guy 20 bucks. I said, peel me off a couple of feet of that, would you? So that was a bonus. Anyways, the idea being here is I want to kind of locate where I want these clips to be and stick them in place. Hopefully they kind of stay put. And to be able to drill some matching holes in the hood and get the thing mounted down that way. Suppose for this, 6 will do it. Just trying to get that to sit nice. I'm going to put one here and one here, and then, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to mark those damn things. Awesome. Alright, so drop the hood on top, try and get it located kind of where I want it, and hold it in place with some tape. No idea, just for the record, if this is actually going to work the way I want it to, but we're going to try. Alright, so most of the holes I'm going to be able to get at. The two forward ones are going to be a bit of a bugger, but y'all get the idea anyways. I'm just going to have to go in here with a pencil or a marker or something and try and figure out how the hell I'm going to mark these. What I'm probably going to do is slightly enlarge the hole so I've got a little bit of leeway in terms of being able to kind of shift the panel around a little bit and get it to fit exactly the way I want it to. So I'm just going to go ahead and nip all this tape off. And get the chassis out of the way. Alright, so just to kind of try and be a little bit more accurate, I'm going to use my punch here, which is hard to do with this GoPro in my face. But we're going to do it. This is going to make it so that when I go to drill it, the drill bit doesn't wander off. Any of you guys that have done metal work know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright. Apologies if you see the camera wiggling. I'm still kind of experimenting with bench mounts, and this one isn't really working for me. Drop the hood on, and we're going to select some fasteners for this. We'll see how it fits. If it's you know, less than perfectly ideal, like I said, I can always hog out the holes a little bit and make the fit better. So as luck would have it, I don't have the exact screws I wanted, but I do have screws, so we're just going to have to do our best. These are a little bit shorter than I wanted to use, just for the purposes of trying to get things to go where they're supposed to go. So I'm going to struggle a little bit, you're going to laugh a little bit, and at the end of the day, hopefully I can get this thing mounted. I'm not going to go Hulk smash on these things because they've got to come off again, ultimately for paint. So in the meantime, I'm just going to put them in well enough, hopefully, to be able to just kind of see how everything fits. Yeah, see, dropped a screw already. Fantastic. Balance a screw on the tip of the finger and drop the screw. Awesome. There we go. Okay, so there's the panel completed. I am going to elongate the holes just slightly, just so that I can shift it a little bit. It's not exactly perfect the way I want it, but it's really quite close, like within kind of a millimeter in one direction or the other, which is not a big deal. And underneath, there's the view of the clips in place, and of course the clips are going to get painted and they'll disappear and you're not going to see them. But ultimately, that is how I, anyways, am attaching just flat sheet metal panels to a steel cage, and maybe this is something that can help you out in your efforts if you're doing a bomber or, you know, a steel cage wraith or anything like that, anything at all custom build where you want to make panels and find a way to attach them. I recommend this method, obviously, because, well, it works. Panels are on there. They are not going anywhere, I promise you that much. And there's really no special tools required. You're just going to go and spend, you know, 10, 15 bucks on some aluminum from the Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever the hell you're going to get roofing materials. And I didn't do anything freaky. There's no fancy measurements going on here. This is about 10 mil wide. I actually did inch measurements on this one just because it was, you know, what I had in my hand at the time. So this is a ½ inch. I'm just going to re-edit that bullshit. Alright, so here is the completed piece. And you know, I'm kind of hoping that this video is a little bit less about me just showing you my build and more about me showing you how you can do things if you don't know or need ideas. And if you want to attach metal or even plastic panels to a wire cage, this is a good way to do it. And there's the view from the clips. That's all going to get painted, so you're not hardly going to see them anyways. It's a good way to do it. Doesn't cost you much money at all. Just a few bucks worth of flashing from the Home Depot or whatever building store you're buying this stuff from. And you know, here's a look at another look at the clip. Now, I used these jewelry pliers, which were cheap enough on Amazon. You could, you know, just use a regular pair of pliers to just kind of bend the thing around a piece of steel rod or whatever. There's other ways to do this. You could do needle nose pliers and get a pretty good result. But I had these for another purpose, so what the hell, there you go. And absolutely nothing fancy going on here. This strip of metal that I cut is about a 1/2 inch wide, and then I marked in about 1/4 of an inch and used that to locate my hole. And then I marked it at about 7/8, cut it off, and then rolled it over 180 degrees, and that turned out to be a good enough dimension for my project. All right, so there you have it, folks. Easy, cheap, doesn't really require any special tools, and you can do it yourself, and it's effective. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Throw a comment down there, something you'd like to see, something about what we're doing, something you want to see us do, whatever the case may be. Like the video, share the video. It's bad that I got to beg for this stuff, but we're trying to get this channel off the ground, and YouTube doesn't do kind of work the way it used to, so it's infinitely harder now. So thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to throw it with a few more action shots, and we'll catch you next time.